Good evening, everyone. I have some fantastic news for you this evening, and I'm so looking forward to do this presentation because this wasn't easy. It was taking some time to get to this point, but lo and behold, this is the prototype board using Artix-7, about 3000 LEs. This is again, I'm just going to reiterate quickly before I start showing you good stuff. This is that development board using SDRAM, which is really required for accuracy and the latency of Amiga architecture. We have running PMOD. PMOD has PS2 joystick ports. It's very well done. Level shifting, this is voltage regulation, 3.35 volts. It has some filters. It has CBTTs for level shifting because between 3.35. LEDs for signals, as you can see here, you can debug just by looking at it. LEDs for 3.35 volts, some inverters, because these are active low, so signal make more sense when you look at it. All connected, all working fine. As you can see, if I move the mouse, you can see mouse being moved, you can see mouse being moved here, everything works fine. What's the big deal now? Why am I talking to you tonight, even though it's slightly late? VGA HDMI working in parallel, totally fine. So here you can see output going to VGA, this is analog output, and then here you can see HDMI in its full glory. I would say that almost everything's done. The one thing that I want to add audio signal, because right now I'm executing I'm sending the DVI signal through HDMI. I want to add also audio through this. I may need to use maybe a different module, different library, but for now, as a proof of concept, here it is. So this needs to be added because you guys want to hook up this to your 4K TV and that's it. No one wants to, deal with this. This will be an option as well. Whoever wants to use, old school analog audio, which is a legitimate thing with the retro computer, but this needs to get done. So audio needs to be implemented. Right now I'm connected to the speaker and RTG as well. I want to enable RTG here, but that's not a problem at all. Even though it's a magnificent, phenomenal thing, it's just a module that needs to be implemented. Now, having said that, I want to show you some cool stuff. So with, especially with the Amiga computers, when you try to start some games, for example, Amiga won't use the entire real estate property here because the problem is sometimes the CPU is not fast enough, or just developers have had some limitations in terms of blitter and copper, so they're not rendering everything. So sometimes, very often, the screen of your game is about 2/3 of your screen. Let me show you what I mean. So here, if I, let's say BAT game, if I start that one, which is a good example, I think. Here's BAT. So what happens? The game will start, of course. You will see from the get-go that not entire screen is used, right? We have these empty areas here, and even if you proceed with the game, you'll see most of the game, it's not really using everything. What was the reason for that? Was it, I don't know, maybe performance issues with the CPU, limitations with the sprites, copper, blitter? Amiga was a complicated, powerful machine, but it had its own quirks and limitations. So obviously, lo and behold, it's a Ubisoft actually. They decided to do this, and this is not so bad, but in many cases games will be like this big, like it's going to be tiny. So for that reason, I've added something that I've seen in other FPGA projects for very different cores. If you press a scroll or lock button, it will change dynamically the resolution of the HDMI output. So it will reduce the resolution slightly, and then you can go even further, reduce it a little bit more, Okay, we still have a little bit more left. I press it again. Just use in the design some of the buttons not used by Amiga, right? And boom, lo and behold, I was able to find the resolution that will actually zoom in into the full screen of your game. Isn't that freaking fantastic? I mean, we have best of both worlds. We have hardware Amiga with very, very accurate emulation in hardware, or a recreation in hardware, however you want to say, regarding the RTL development. And then you have this ability to kind of have your game in front of you, right? In addition, you can do things like, well, I don't know, maybe add scan lines and, Bob's your uncle. It's fantastic. This is like the way you're supposed to play these games, right? And again, not emulation. This is coming directly from the hardware, from FPGA. Fantastic. This new board will have ability to add a real CPU if you prefer that, or PyStorm, so it's crazy. And you'll still have this ability to kind of zoom in into your content and have this sort of thing. So this, of course, it's not working for the VGA part of things. For the VGA part of things, we can still do that. But that's as simple as just changing of course, the resolution of VGA. We can consider that as well. But because right now I was looking into what's available out there in terms of code for these things, this was so easy to implement. So fantastic. I mean, I'm really pleased with that. Let me exit this if I can. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just restart. Reset. Yep. So anyhow, what else is left before I can kind of package this into one very nice universal board that will be, main Amiga development and FPGA development and the board that will hold the spirit of Minimig. So as you can see, almost everything's done. Only USB is missing, so PMOD like this will come soon. I'll create something with appropriate USB chips, ICs, USB hub, this and that. And then we'll need to re-implement also the code that kind of bridges the functionality from the Verilog, from RTL, from FPGA in particular, from the what's in the fabric, and what's actually controlled by the firmware itself, and what's connected to the USB ports, these new ICs for the USB that will be on the PMOD, right? So that's that. There will be a little bit more time left. I want to have RTG next, and I want to have maybe rescaling for VGA, if that's possible. If we can press, I don't know, let's say scroll lock or some of the keys, and then do this as well, so we can zoom in into the analog, I mean, that sort of thing, So, I mean, rejoice. This is phenomenal. This is progressing great. Voltage regulation for the new board is almost done. Very advanced voltage regulation with the negotiations, with the monitoring the drop of the voltage. It's fantastic. I mean, it's going to be pretty good. It will be implemented as AMD or Xilinx wanted to be implemented for the 7th generation. So, great. We'll have a lot of juice also for mezzanine card. I'll make sure we have amps of power, so you can drive whatever you like. So all in all, I can tell you I'm quite pleased. It's taking years to kind of learn all this stuff, and I have also some help, and I'm going through the books and I'm reading stuff, and I'm improving skills with also with PCB design, impedance matching, all that good stuff, with length matching, making sure that integrity of these high-speed digital signals is great. So I think what's coming next will be just quantum leap, I think, in terms of from PCB design to implementing all these Verilog bits and pieces. So yeah, I hope this video brings you a little bit of joy, because for me, to be honest with you, I'm going to cycle to resolutions again. For me, this is just it's been some time working on this, and finally it's here. It's working. So again, thanks for watching. I'm going to make sure you guys are up to date. Every single little progress I make, I'll make a video so you know what's going on. Therefore, subscribe if you can, share, and like this video, make some comments. I'm going to try to reply as soon as possible if you have any questions, of course. I think it's very important interaction with the community, and some of your ideas are actually implemented into my design. So if you have some idea that's feasible for me, I'll try to implement it. If not, maybe some time in the future, you know. But I'm trying to focus on these, you know, priorities to get to the point where we have board with the expansion slot, and we can start moving things to yet another level. Thanks again for your time, and talk to you soon. Have a good one.